Do you ever feel like the only reward you get for being highly capable and reliably get things done is just more work? Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Self-Transforming Leader. This is a podcast about growing yourself and your people so you can generate new possibilities in your work, relationships, and personal life. Today, we are covering a completely counterintuitive topic: why being high functioning might actually be the exact thing holding you back. My special guest today is Darren Bridge. She's an experienced coach, a mentor of mine, and someone who has this gift for dropping massive nuggets of wisdom in our private conversations. So I finally said, Darren, we need to have this conversation out loud. And here's the episode. If you are someone who prides yourself on your work ethic, who keeps all these balls in the air, who gets praised for being reliable, this one might challenge you a little bit. We are going to unpack what we call the execution habit, why our brains default to predict and manage mode, and what it looks like to shift into something we call declare and fulfill, which is where the real magic happens. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I have an exciting episode for you today. We are covering why being high functioning might be holding you back. And I am Monica Vegalam. I am a life and leadership coach. And today my special guest is Darren Bridge. She's an experienced coach, a mentor of mine. She trains me in a leadership program. And apart from that, she works with corporate teams. You love bringing a team together. So she's an amazing coach. And there are some times when Darren puts these little nuggets of wisdom and they just open up so much. I was like, I want Darren on this show and talk about some of the distinctions that we talk in private conversations.
In our jam sessions?
Jam sessions. And I wanted to bring them out to public and dive deeper into them. Anything you want to say, Darren, as a way of introducing yourself?
Yeah, well, just first of all, I'm really honored to be the special guest. I didn't realize that I was the first one ever. And yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite things in the realm of leadership is to help turn a group of people into a team, whatever that means for that group of people. And I would say it's pretty common in leadership where there's people that are super easy to lead and they're a joy, and then there's other people that are a complete challenge. Most people are a mix of both. And Monica, you definitely lean into the camp of it's a joy to lead with, but I'm also always so stoked by the part of you that's a challenge. So thanks for having me here.
That's the exciting part for me, where, well, there is the leadership and coaching and feedback, which is in the face, like hit me in the face stance out in the world. And one of the things that I find about you is that there's so much nuance that you meet people with what they need in the moment, but not what they say they want. Because if you just meet me normally, I would be like, hit me in the head with feedback. And that's not what serves me all the time. Yeah. But then the challenge and the gradient is also something we can work on.
Yeah. You got that, leaders? Hitting people in the face is optional.
I think I consider myself a fairly high functioning person because there's a lot I'm up to in my life. I'm a solopreneur. There's business goals that I'm trying to meet. I'm serving my existing clients. I'm a parent, which in itself can be quite challenging. And and of course, the whole personal side of hobbies, well-being, and all of the other stuff that you can imagine. And one of the things I do is take things on and then make sure to do them. So people praise me for it quite a bit. I've heard some people say, hey, you have a great work ethic. And I thought that's a good thing, right? It's positive feedback. But I have learned working with Darren that that might actually get in the way of who I am being in the world and, in fact, get in the way of my goals. So we are talking about how this kind of high reliability, high functioning is actually a blocker.
Cool. So if two things, are you okay if I add them?
Yeah.
I want to point out in what I heard you share, Monica, is that you said I relate to myself as high functioning. So a lot of people are like, am I high functioning? Are they high functioning? Just consider for a moment that it doesn't actually matter. If you relate to yourself as high functioning, you're probably high functioning. And even if you're not, still the way you relate to yourself.
Yeah.
And we're talking about high functioning today, but like anything, there it can be a bit of a blessing and a curse. There's many blessings to being high functionings, and I think today we're mostly talking about how it might be holding you back. We are present to, and we really hope you are present to all of the things that it has brought to your life and all of the ways that you get to create and do cool things, but we're talking about it as a blocker.
And on
Yeah.
that, I think if you are an adult in midlife with a career, or even if not, even people who are not actively working, I think you're already high functioning because you get things done, but otherwise bills don't get paid or things fall apart. So, to whatever extent people have capacity, we are high functioning in a way. The world demands that of us.
And if we're giving a special shout out to our tech based or corporate clients and audience, the job requires and welcomes and envelops your high functionality. Consider it's no accident that you are in that workspace, that career space. It's a
And
draw for high functioning people.
yes, it's like a magnet and it's constantly rewarded, right? The more reliable people are, the more you get rewarded with promotions, bonuses, or even peer acknowledgement and appreciation.
Yeah. And one of the ways it's a problem, sometimes my kind of more corporate clients will talk about, gosh, it just feels like the reward for a job well done is more work. It's like, yes, that's where high functioning crosses into a place where it might be holding you back.
Darren, do you want to talk about how to listen to this conversation?
Yeah, but this is just true of communication in general. And we thought it might be important to bring to this conversation because there's going to be a difference in what Monica and I say and what you actually hear. As human beings, we get really upset when the communication breaks down like that. But I think what we don't consider is that actually happens way more than it actually lands clear and like it's intended. And one of the reasons for that, there's many reasons, but one of the reasons for that is because as listeners, we all hear things through a certain filter. And I want to give you all one that maybe you can relate to. You can let us know. If I have a filter that says my boss doesn't really like me very much, if my boss stops by my office and says, "Hey, Darren, how's that report going?" By the time it goes through that filter, it sounds more like I always have to check up on you. I can never quite depend on you to produce really great work or, anything that kind of the filter distorts. And one of the things that Monica and I work on in our leadership training and coaching is helping people uninstall that filter and put in a new one. I mean, you can choose which one you want. But if I now have a new filter that says my boss wants what's best for me and really has my back, this time when they stop by my office and say, "Hey, Darren, how's that report going?" It sounds more like I had a couple minutes. I was thinking of you. I know you're taking on a really big challenge or a really important project, and just wanted to make sure that you had everything you needed to be successful. So you won't agree with everything that we hear, and you won't disagree with it either. That's fine. We're inviting you to notice the filter that you listen through and see if you can just install a filter that says, what can I hear that might be useful for me in what these two jammers are saying?
Yeah.
Anything you would add to that, Monica?
That is such an important conversation because
Mm.
we don't even know that we are having a filter. And on LinkedIn or social media in general, there are posts that I read, and then my immediate thing is, no, that's not true. And here is why. There's like actually, then fill in the blank coming up.
So true. I keep seeing this video of this woman dancing. She's a horrible dancer. And my immediate response is like, that's so cringy. And then I read the comments and they're like, go girl, good for you. And I'm like, yeah, that's actually what I believe. I believe go girl, good for you. But why do I have this automatic filter that is cringy?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it serves us in our life in certain aspects.
Yes.
And especially in tech, where people are very smart and kind
Yes.
of intellectual, logic oriented, and rational, well, actually, is a default I see quite a bit. That might not be the case. Whoever you are listening to this for, it might be a different filter for you. But whatever it is, consider that there might be a filter, and the invitation is to open up and see what you can get. The default mode for most people is the execution mode or the execution habit. This execution habit is what I referred to before. If you are an adult in midlife, there are so many things to execute on. Execution habit comes from our brain's mechanism of predictive processing. So we want to know, minimize uncertainty, predict how things are going to go, and know that I can execute them. And from that place, we seek help, advice, or go into the doing mode of things. And this is important to get our lives handled. And if we are talking about having an ambitious goal, this gets in the way of people into the next level of operation. Darren, I want to ask you, we've once talked about in a private conversation about juggling balls. Do you share an experience of you getting very good at juggling balls and then working on that or working with people on that?
I just want to say the same thing from but a different angle because I love the word the execution habit and the default mode of having the execution habit and how that is such a brilliant strategy from super smart, intellectual, logical people, right? There's nothing wrong with it. But you said to help us stay in the known and minimize uncertainty. And for the people that just kind of think or feel differently is it's a really clever way of staying comfortable, staying in our comfort zone, or even I would go so far as to say managing or regulating our nervous system, but mostly by not letting it get deregulated or dysregulated. Right. And the thing that I notice about staying in doing mode and in the execution habit is eventually we get overwhelmed by our own to-do list. And that whole nervous system management thing goes right out the window, right? So there's a point where it stops doing what we intended it to do. Yeah. And so I think the analogy about juggling the balls is like, I can't juggle, but if I could, I imagine I would start off with, I don't even think you're juggling unless there's at least 3 balls. And I would start off juggling 3 balls and then I'd get good at that. And then I could juggle 4 balls and 5 balls and 6 balls.
Let's name some balls, okay?
Oh.
Yeah. Let's say 3 balls. Okay? For
Right.
like most people, parenting is 1 ball.
Juggling
And the
kids.
second, yeah.
Killing it at parenthood, juggling that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Managing the household with a partner and the relationship, like how much connection do you have? And then there is the logistical partnership. Who gets to drop the kid today for this music class?
Whoa. So kids, relationship, household, most of us do that with our eyes closed, right? But we add more balls. Am I on track for my promotion?
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I executing my business in a way that's profitable? So more balls and more balls. And it is a great strategy because it's pretty easy, I imagine, to get good at juggling. But there's a part where our humanity kind of steps in. And no matter how good we are at juggling, there's going to be a limitations to how many other items one human can keep in the air at one time and still have a good time.
I observe that when people get higher into leadership positions,
Mm.
let's say you go from IC, independent contributor, to a manager, there's 3 balls added to the whole juggling mechanism because now
Yes.
you are responsible for somebody's career growth. Then from
Yes.
first line manager to when people become manager of managers, and then director, where you are directly responsible for business results. And then VP, then you have to drive culture initiatives. Then the number of balls go so high, maybe 10, 15, even if people are delegating, oh, this is my culture guy, or this is my, I don't know, results person, this is my AI person. Even when people have those, they're still like, there's a background juggling, or they're still responsible for it.
Yeah. And one of the ways you'll know if this is you, if you don't already, is if it feels impossible to close down your work for the evening, for the day, or if you leave work and then you go home, maybe you squeeze a workout in and then you immediately start working again. That's how you start to know that you're one of these people. You're really good at juggling and that's amazing, but you notice you're not very happy.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, if I am juggling 5 balls and I want to amp it up to 10, in other words, I want to get a promotion to the director position or VP position, there's more balls and more skills I need, more capacity I need in terms of doing that. And maybe we'll get to retiring this metaphor soon, but
Okay, okay, you're right. You're
it
right. We
is
were just
hard.
having a good time with it. Yes.
It is hard.
Yes.
And that is why a lot of people get stuck at some position and then they give up on their dreams of being happy. Can I find happiness while being a leader in the scope that I want to be, and managing my household and being the parent I want, and all of those things? Then they see that they're not able to predict how that can be possible. Then they're like, I guess I'm fine. I don't want to go through that much of struggle. So I guess even if I have a desire for these kinds of projects or being part of these kinds of strategic conversations, I'm okay for now. Maybe I'll slowly, organically grow, or maybe I'll target for it maybe 5 years later.
Yeah, so the strategy moves from juggling as many balls as I can and getting really good at juggling to when the kind of, I'll call it just unhappiness starts to hit in, we decide that there's something we need to let go of, something we need to give up, or something we need to sacrifice to this is how we'll fix it or how we'll manage it to stay with that.
Do you have a story about this, Darren? Because you have the most amazing stories. I want to ask you in your leadership training, when you were being trained as a leader and a coach.
Yeah, I remember being told like the most useless thing ever. And that
Now I'm
is
interested.
it's things like welcome to leadership, middle management sucks. And my experience was I started to feel like my work wasn't appreciated and that I wasn't valued as a human being. So I am juggling all of the balls. I'm in kind of a mid management position, right? I have kids. I'm leading up, I'm leading down, I'm leading teams, I'm all of that stuff. And in my attempt to ask for support, what I mostly got told was welcome to leadership. And yeah, middle management is really tough.
So this is the story from your client or your own personal
This
experience?
is from my own personal, this is me as kind of
Ah,
mid management. Yeah.
uh-huh.
And what I did was what I think a lot of us did was I just tried harder. Let me just really manage my calendar. I started to say no to things that I really loved, like yoga, hiking, all of the stuff that was actually bringing me any joy or regeneration as a human being, I let go of to. I know at the time I was just trying to show people that I could do it and prove that I had what it takes. And yeah, I can't think of any specific story about it, but I'm also trying to share something relatable. I've just definitely been there where everything I could think of wasn't working because I tried it 1,000 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I gave up. I gave up. Yeah.
How does that look like for you when you give up on your dreams and work harder or something else?
I ended up quitting a job I really loved because I
Mm.
didn't know how to get to the next level. And I just didn't have any gas left in the tank to keep going the way that I was going.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's sad.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's worked out great for me that I met you because you quit the job.
Like in hindsight, it's worked out really great for me too, right?
Yeah.
But at the time, right? It was just we get to the point where I felt forced to make a decision or I was going to lose myself even further. I just didn't have anything left to give. And nobody wanted me to. That wasn't actually even what was being asked of me, but I couldn't hear it any other way than how my filter had me hearing it.
This is a very common story, right? And burnout is such a common thing and having no gas left. And I was just talking to someone today about this. If you sprint 100 meters every day without the endurance or without the skills or capacity, the rest period is longer before you can do it again.
Yes.
The idea is that you run very fast, keep running, and of course, the body is going to burn out.
Yeah. So yeah, because it kind of becomes, or it did for me, a cycle of either sprint or rest while bracing to go sprint again.
Yeah. So rest is not even rest then. Rest is also like, let me rest right now.
I used to always get this visual of, how when a boxer is in a fight and then they go to the corner and the people they give them a new mouth guard and they wipe all the blood off their face so they can go back and get punched again. That's how life felt. Like I have people, but they're just going to wipe the blood off and give me a new mouth guard. And then I'm going to go back in there and get punched in the face again.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man. And I'm quite surprised with how common this is, number one, and
Yeah.
how much the culture self propagates this kind of end state for a lot of people.
Like how admirable it is culturally.
Yes, how
Yes.
admirable it is culturally, and how the system is set up with promotions and rewards and appreciation that people naturally end up in this state.
Like if they'll be, she's such a good boxer. You should really promote her. It's weird. Nobody's noticed that she's bloody and her ear is 4 times the normal size. They're like, oh, this one, she's really great. She
Yes.
will fight. Or he,
There,
sorry.
there are actually startups, AI startups, and even other startups who post job descriptions like, we want somebody with intensity because we are moving at a fast pace. So they're actually looking for great boxers who are ready to get punched in the face.
Nice. I'd love to see that in the job description though.
Yeah, but it's also good to see nowadays that the other conversation is happening too. I mean, the conversation, the one we are having, and the way there's more awareness about caring for yourself and that going in parallel with ambition. You don't have to reduce your goals or reduce what you want because both are available together.
But it's funny how sometimes the people with those skills, they're like come as a coach to me and they're, I just need to be less empathetic. Like it's so weak. It's so, and I'm like, oh, hang on, hang on. You realize there's a bazillion dollar industry where people are trying to learn how to be more empathetic, right?
Yeah.
That is a valuable skill. And we want to teach you how to make it valuable for you.
So wait, tell me, people with what skills exactly? People who can be like, this is what I want and I want to rest also, like recognizing that?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
people that have more of the gentle energy, more of the go with the flow, more of the really show a lot of care and concern for the people, not the fighters. Right?
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, they think, then they also think to get ahead, I have to be more of a fighter because of this reward, this cultural kind of reward system we're talking about.
Yeah. That brings me to boundaries at work. And we were talking about this earlier, where setting boundaries at work is a very popular conversation on LinkedIn. It is required. We must have boundaries, good and valid. But often we find in our work that when people set boundaries or even when they say no to something, it's often because I have a lot going on right now and I don't know how to manage all of that, or I'm pretty stretched managing all of that. And I don't know how to fit in one more thing. So I'm a no right now. Instead of the other way, which is an empowered boundary. And you have a nice distinction about this. You say it's not about fitting more on your plate, or please
Oh,
tell us
yeah.
the plate metaphor.
Yeah. So what I hear you broaching on is the sacrifice conversation comes up, right?
Mm,
People, they start to say no, because if I say yes, I will have to sacrifice one of the balls I'm juggling, and I'm getting pretty good at it. I'm miserable, but I'm getting good at it. So they say no because they think they have to sacrifice something else. And
right.
so the analogy, like, okay, we're going to move from the juggler a little bit, but the analogy is about the amount of items on your plate, right? So we start talking about, well, I have to take that off my plate to put something else, or my plate can't hold anymore. And in the type of leadership training that Monica and I do, we're like, no, 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 we're going to expand your capacity and make you a bigger plate, make you into a bigger plate. You're going to be able to hold more. And now it's going to feel as effortless as juggling five balls did. And
Hmm.
then people are like, how am I going to become a bigger plate? That's part of the thing that has you juggling, is that you don't know how. And so you don't even believe me or any shred of possibility that we as human beings can become bigger plates. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's ridiculous, but it's also true. Right?
There is almost this benefit to not opening up to the possibility of I can be a bigger plate, I can have better capacity, because I believe that I have to put more effort, I have to add one more ball, because that's how my current mental model is. That's how my
Yes.
brain predicts that life works, through effort, through hard work, through learning, through gaining skills. And all of those are required, but that's how they get in the way of believing that something else other than this current life is possible.
So good. I love what you said, mental modeling. The way that I'm hearing stuff, I can't see how to do that or know already that it's possible or guaranteed that I can make it happen. So I can't predict it. And therefore, I can't manage it or both. And so, therefore, it's not possible. And I'm setting a boundary. We're not doing this.
And back to
Yeah.
execution habit,
Yes.
execution mode and execution habit.
What are some of the benefits to know my plate is already full? Let's look at some of those.
First thing I can think of from my own life is I won't experience anxiety. By being
Yes.
here in the execution mode or not believing that I can be a bigger plate.
Yeah. So back to the beginning when we were talking about how much of this is actually covert nervous system regulation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Right? If I do less of this, I have less anxiety. I would add to that list, along with less anxiety, is less burnout. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm miserable, but I'm not quite at burnt out because I've said, no, no, I can't take one more thing.
One of the things that fascinates me is that we are these rational, we can think so much, or we humans have progressed so much, invented so much, and all of that stuff. But at the base, our nervous system is a simple mammal who's
Mm.
trying to stay safe and belong and keep everything in a way that I can continue to stay safe, minimize pain. So all these choices that I make in terms of saying no to things or not opening up to new possibilities, it's so that I minimize the experience of anxiety, experience of burnout. And we are not saying here that you should not, but
Totally.
it's coming from the past. Well, when I did that thing, I had anxiety, and I know that I'm going to experience anxiety again, so I don't even want to go there. Instead, the coaching and the support conversation looks like, okay, you're experiencing anxiety. How do we support you with that? So then that gets to the root cause that has been hidden for so long.
If we talk about the benefits of setting and holding that boundary, they're plentiful, but they're normally protective to keep us
Right.
safe, to keep us in the unknown, to minimize uncertainty, anxiety, all of that
Reduce
stuff.
conflict, reduce
Yes.
conflict. What
Yeah,
will my partner say? What will somebody else say? Now I'll have to get into an argument and hear something I don't want to hear.
totally. So we're not poo pooing the strategy. We're actually saying, we get it. That makes so much sense. That's a very brilliant strategy.
So let's talk about the other way, which we are calling the creation mode or the generative path.
Yeah, I noticed even when you said the creation mode, I started to relax. I'm like, oh, this is my jam, right? And
Yes.
this is all learned. This did not used to be my jam. I just want you to know. I used to be way in the other conversation, delighted to be part of it and be presenting it. Yeah.
Yeah. The way we speak about it in our leadership circles is predict and manage versus declare and fulfill. And predict and manage is the execution habit that we were talking about, where we predict how things are going to go, and I stay in the managing of my life and say no to things or say yes to things so that I can still keep managing. Then the other way, the more empowering way we propose is the declare and fulfill. And this is the generative path. So think about your biggest, most ambitious goal right now. Even if you don't have one present right away, what do you yearn for most? Make something up.
Yeah. What's a goal you gave up on that you don't allow yourself to think about anymore, or that you're going to do after you do this one?
Yeah, maybe 5 years later.
Yeah.
For me, it's always the trip to Italy. I don't even know if Italy is great or I'm going to love it. I know that I want to go, but then it's okay. I'm gonna do that next year when I've met all my goals, and and or when I find a Costco package where I don't have to plan the details.
I'm laughing because I know Monica likes a Costco package, so that's
It's
great.
because they manage everything. I don't have to think about what do I do next. What's your biggest, most ambitious goal? And now think about, are you currently operating from creating the path towards that goal, or operating from, I can't fit it in right now, I can't manage it, maybe I'll do it later, and here's why I cannot do it now.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just add to that in the predict and manage pathway, our dreams are contingent on upon us knowing how to do it. And in the declare and fulfill path, one that I always use is, "Well, I'm going to put a man on the moon." And it's like, "Well, how are you going to do that?" And it's like, "Well, I don't know." That's my goal, right? That's my declaration that I am then going to fulfill on. And I don't need to know right now. Like, how's your nervous system now when you think of that?
I
Okay.
would love for you to speak about the declare and fulfill part, how it
Yeah.
looks like and how you train people on it.
Yeah. If you know me at all, you know that I'm a traveler. So I often use a traveling analogy that declare and fulfill can be like going on a trip. I promise I'm not coaching you right now, Monica. Like, let's say
I'm
you
out
wanted to go to
otherwise.
Italy. Right. It's actually a really good example because I do use it a lot. First, we just have to come up with the notion that I want to go on a trip. Declare and fulfill really doesn't require any good reason to want to go on a trip or where you want to go. And in fact, I really like where Monica's looking, where it's, "Why do you want to go to Italy?" I don't know. I just really want to go there. To me, those are the best reasons to go, but whatever. Declare and fulfill requires us to say the thing that we want, to continue wanting it while we are figuring out how we're going to make it happen. So Monica's tried one strategy that we've heard so far. "Well, when Costco has a good package, that's when I'm going to Italy." Right. So I often work with my clients in, okay, what do you want? And then so as soon as you decide what it is you want, even if we could say exactly how it was going to happen, when are you going to go on the trip? What do you want to do or see when you go there? Even if we could make this into a pretty to-do list, the actual trip won't go that way.
Mm.
It won't go that way. Even when we're really good at predicting and managing, it won't go that way. But in declare and fulfill, we actually allow that to support the trip. There was the time in New York and I took the wrong subway and I ended up not meeting the person I was supposed to meet because I got lost. But then I got hungry and then I had this amazing meal in this really cool restaurant that I couldn't have put in my plan. And so in predict and manage, that's frustrating. Things are going horribly wrong. I can't believe I didn't get to see my friend on that day. And in declare and fulfill or creation mode, we get to be like, okay, well, how does that actually contribute to my goal rather than wreck it?
That is such an important thing that I think you have said to me 53 times, and even my coach
Nice.
has said to me another 83
Confessions.
times.
Confessions of a coachee coming now. Love it.
Yes. And I myself as a coach have offered this as a reflection or a point of inquiry for many people. Oh, this really bad thing is happening in my life. I have to go to so many health appointments, and or when people say, oh, I have to deal with insurance, or I have to deal with this, my mobile call center.
Call center. Okay.
Yeah, it's horrible experience. I remember when I came to the US and I had to call the call center and they put me on hold for an hour. And I'm like, is this how it works? And then I'm like, I'm not doing this. You do it to my husband.
You be on hold.
So things happen in life.
Yes.
And the thing that I've always heard from my leaders, you, and even that I offer to my clients is we generate how that thing is contributing to our goal. So we call it the breakthrough. How is this contributing to your breakthrough, to the experience you want in life? And what are you getting to practice because of this? And it's not in a way that, oh, have gratitude. Life is great. See the positive silver lining. It's not that. It's about generating ourself moment by moment, where every day is a new day. Everything that happens is a chance to go to this goal I set myself up to.
Because this is in the predict and manage, it's very about controlling things. And there are things that happen all the time that are beyond our control. I can't change the circumstance, I can't change that I'm on hold or that I have appointments or whatever, but I can put some consciousness and some intentionality into who I'm being in the face of it.
What's your
Recommendation.
short answer for how to get in touch with your biggest dreams?
Ooh, what a great question. I would say to go to your go-to spot. I was born on an island. For me, the ocean holds all the answers. Go to your
Hmm.
go-to spot and let things come to you. Or however it is, you get all your best ideas. Yeah. And learn to trust that as part of your creative process.
I have two things on this. One is a way of a mental model that we already have the dreams and desires inside us. And it's one way is to say, okay, what's in the way of getting in touch with that? And committing to do that inquiry or process, which you so beautifully gave an example of. I'll go to the
Yeah.
spot, do it, or I'll talk to someone, and in my speaking, it will come out, or I'll work on my nervous system or emotions so I can get in touch with my desires and what I want and identify what my moon is. That's one thing.
Nice.
And the second is towards declare and fulfill, right? Darren has this amazing advice, a spiritually based advice, which is make shit up.
Yes.
Right.
Make shit up and then
Yeah.
act as if it were true.
Just declare something and then fulfill it. And on the way, we would realize that, oh, this is what I wanted all the while. Or we'll have a reference point. Oh, not this, but probably that. And then that's how the path kind of forms.
Right, the move towards the thing, even if you don't know exactly where you're going. Just move in that direction.
Declare that this is my moon and start
Yeah.
moving in the direction.
Yes.
And then at some point,
Yeah.
analyze, oh, is this more management? Is this actually my moon or there's something else?
Yeah. So that just means that you don't have to make the right choice. You just have to make a
Uh-huh.
choice. Yes, that
Yes.
feels empowering for you.
Yeah. And that can trigger so much stuff like making a choice because then it brings up all the protective measures up.
Yes.
And I might have to face anxiety. I might have to face conflict, whatever.
I don't know about you, Monica, but I find this is often one of the first reflections that I give my clients when we first start working together. Be like, hey, do you ever notice that as soon as you start talking about what you want, it is immediately followed by why you can't have it? And then the conversation goes this way. Right. And so I'll just have my clients go out in the world and just notice when they do that. So, how much goodness can you be with until that other side of it takes over? And we have to train our brain to spend more time in the goodness, more time in the desire, so that
Mm.
we can let these ideas percolate and formulate before something comes in to shut us down.
I would say declare something as your moon, even if you're not able to identify it right now. And I think it's an inner stance that we adopt, right? The word that we say in our work, which is, this is my moon, and that's where I'm going to come from.
I think this shows up all the time in, I don't know why this is coming to mind, but professional sports. Like how many athletes we see that turn into commentators or newscasters or whatever. They were moving in that direction. And whether they made it to the pro ranks or the Olympics or whatever their moon was, they ended up here. And that's not, and they're like, I never would have picked this for myself. And I love this. So this is what we're talking about. Go towards something. Maybe you break your leg and you never make it to the majors. That's horrible. And it will lead you somewhere else that you would have never set out to go.
That's so beautiful. And Darren, would you speak about creating yourself and language that creates yourself?
What a great phenomenon. Creating myself. That is, it sounds so weird to say it, but it resonates deeply, the question, right? Because we are fully expressed human beings when we are born. Have you ever seen a kid sit on a stranger's lap and then decide that they want to put their finger up the person's nose? Right? Like
What?
just something that's so out of bounds, right? But we get conditioned that that's wrong, right? So it's a full expression of this little human being. And slowly we shut that down to work hard or do whatever it is we're supposed to do. So regenerating ourselves requires us to do some work to realize that the me that I know myself to be, A is amazing, but B is not all that who I am. I have blocked off some part of myself. I have learned to shut it down. I have learned to underexpress it. I have learned to overexpress it, all of that stuff. And so we have to start to learn that we have everything within us contained. It might have been shut down for a while. I'm not telling anybody to go put your finger up anybody's nose. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying one of the questions we have to ask ourselves is who do I need to move towards that, or how do I imagine myself in that role? Right? Who do I know that does this really well? And how do I already possess those qualities and really learn to go through the discomfort of opening ourselves up to be that person? I have a
Yeah.
lame example if you want.
Yes, I
You
love
want a
lame
lame
examples.
example?
I love whimsy. I love lame examples.
When I was a kid, I was conditioned to be very tough. Sign of
Hmm.
the times, I don't know. I was a very tough kid. I I never cried. I was the only girl that was allowed to play floor hockey with the boys. I was super tough. But when I got to be a teenager, I all of a sudden wanted to be a girl. Right? I was a girl, but I wanted to be more feminine. And I remember getting a purse for the first time and wearing it to school. And the first person that commented on the purse, I was mortified because this is not who I was. I am boyish. I'm a tomboy. I don't wear purses, but I had to be willing to regenerate the part of me that is actually very feminine, right? And own that
Mm.
purse, slay that bag, and just slowly morph into the version of feminine that I really wanted to be. I mean, I wanted a boyfriend. They were just picking me for their team. I wanted to. Right? So this is what I mean. Who do I need to be to get a man? Right? Who do I need to get a boyfriend? Right? Because if I'm slamming them into the boards in floor hockey, it's just not it's
Yeah.
not kind of conducive. And so it's a lame metaphor, but it is something we are required to do all of the time, whether we're going through a promotion, we're recreating our relationships, we are leveling up our leadership,
Yeah. And
regenerating ourselves.
and let's say there's a project. People often ask me, I want to get higher up into leadership, or I want to make $1 million, or I want to get a side gig going, quit my job, or
Yeah.
I want to get my business to this level. This directly applies there. What's the thing you want to declare
Yes.
and get support so that you can fulfill it, and then
Yes.
discover that every day. So every day is a new day. We generate ourselves and we say that this is who I am today, and
Yes.
that I'm going for that thing over there,
Totally. I'm
even if
having
I
a
don't know how. Sorry, go ahead.
Totally. Yeah. Well, I'm having a flashback of actually you, Monica, leading one of our teams call in a discussion. And so I can see you branching out to level up your leadership and just being, I don't know exactly how to do this, but here's what I'm going to do. And then get the feedback from your leaders and incorporate that and keep going and keep going. That is a skill that you need to develop in order to keep moving to fulfilling on your declaration. It takes a
Right.
lot of guts, a lot of vulnerability, a lot of trust, and it's also really magical.
Yes, and also
Yeah.
fumbling, letting go of how other people's might be seeing me right now, and just trust that I am in the process. So we want to bring more of those spaces where people can grow that way.
Yeah.
And Darren and I, we are leading this program that we talk about. That is a great space. But the sad part is if you go to your manager or if you go to wherever in your life, even your partner, and say, this is something I want to work on, probably not going to get the nuanced kind of support and holding as you are working your way through that. So that is why we are such a stand for working with a coach, number one. So if you're like, hey, I want to do this thing, come talk to me or even Darren. We'll support you on that. That's number one. Second is we are leading a community where we talk about more of such stuff. Come to the community. It's free, but it's on invite only. So you will have to message me and talk about what you want.
And I just want to, can I just add in, when Monica is saying support, it means we usually have a topic that we're going to talk about. And if the people that are there really have requests for support and things that we want to talk about, we have space for that too.
Yeah. And this conversation is not very abundant out in the world.
Yeah.
The way we talked about the distinction in terms of predict and manage versus declare and fulfill. When you get mentors, seek advice, seek how-to article, it more falls into the predict and manage part. Has that been your experience, Darren? Minimizing uncertainty.
Right, exactly. It's just a strategy to minimize uncertainty, because as much as I would love my coach to be with me everywhere that I go, she's not, right? And I'm, part of the skill we learn is how to be in uncertainty on ourselves. Right. If I don't know what to do and there's nobody here to tell me, what will I do? That takes a lot of trust. And I'm just operating from my declare and fulfill. So we don't tell you what to do, but we help you learn how to navigate the uncertainty and the unknown in a way that's just way more fun.
Yeah. And lots of fun and also nuanced. And so it'll be so good. I promise. Come to the community call, send me a message. And even otherwise, tell us how all of this landed for you. What are you taking from this? Any insights you got? Or if you just want to connect, tell us. Anything you want to say as a way of closing?
Just thanks it was really fun to put our jam sessions on loudspeaker.
Yeah.
So the only thing different here is that we are just being out loud. Monica and I actually do this or things like this all the time. So if you enjoy geeking out to conversations like this, please reach out. We would love to hear from you.
Yes, yeah. I have access to Darren. So I'm like, Darren, what did you say that day? I want to talk about it. And then we just get on a call like this and discuss this stuff.
Out.
Yeah. And if you want more of such discussions, also let me know and we'll make it happen.
Amazing.
All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great week ahead. Thank you for joining us and see you all soon.
You got it. Thanks so much, Monica. Bye, everybody.